Hi everyone, this is Sugantha Priya, Assistant Professor, Department of Computer Science, Full Stack Web Development, Dr.S.Sugantha College of Arts and Science. This presentation is about the topic Building the Requirement Model in Software Engineering. So what is requirements? A requirement is a structured representation of all the system requirement that is being gathered by the users. Mainly, it describes how the system behaves. It shows function, data and interaction, and also it helps to convert the user requirements into analyzable models. This requirement modeling process involves three main activities like analysis, document and maintenance and management. A requirement model is not a single diagram, it is a collection of models that together describe what the system does, how the user interact, how the data is involved and how the system behaves over the time. Next is the purpose of requirement model. The diagram represents breaking down requirement into smaller parts. So the top of the rectangle represents the entire system. For example, e-commerce system. Next is a circle. It represents the subsystems or modules. So next is a diamond. It represents the detailed functions and decisions. So decomposition means we have a big system that is divided into smaller manageable components. Next is the clarity. So each part can be studied separately. Next is the traceability. Each function can be traced back into the requirements. Say for example, if you have an e-commerce application, so the main system is a shopping system. In the module 1 we have user management, in the module 2 we have product management, in the module 3 we have the payment management. Next is the components of the requirement model. So in the components of the requirement model, we have functional model, data model, behavioral model and flow model. So the functional model is going to describe the use cases and the scenarios. It mainly focuses what the system does. And it provides services like describing services, showing interaction with the users. Say for example, we can have login, register and place order. Next is a data model. The data model is represented by ER and class diagram. It mainly describes what the system uses. It uses entities and relationship and it is going to represent the structure of the database. Next is the behavioral model. In the behavioral model, we have activity, sequence and state. It focuses how the system behaves. So we have event-driven changes and time-based actions. Say for example, order, processing, shipped and delivered. Next is the flow model. In the flow model, we have data flow diagram and the context diagram. It represents how the data flows, that is the input, processing and the output. Next is the type of model. In the type of model, we have different types like use case model. So the use case model is going to represent the actor plus system interaction. It is mainly used for high level functionality. Next is the data flow diagram. It mainly shows the movement of data and it mainly focuses on processing. Next is the ER diagram. The ER diagram is mainly used for representing database design, that is the entities and relationship. So next is a UML class diagram. It is going to represent the structure of the system classes, that is the attributes and the methods. Next is the activity diagram. The activity diagram represents a workflow or a process flow. Next is a sequence diagram, that is the interaction in time order. Next is the state machine diagram. We have different types of states of the particular system. So next is the steps in the building the requirement model. So first we have to identify the actor and the boundaries. So the actors are nothing but the users or external systems. So boundary is nothing but what is inside the system. Next is we have to define the major functions. We have to convert the requirement in the use cases. Next is developing interaction model. In the developing interaction model, we have to represent how the actor communicate with the system. Next is creating data structures and relationship. Here we represent the database entities. Next is the model behavior. It is going to represent the flow on state, that is the system reactions within the particular system. So next is validating with the stakeholders. In the validating the stakeholders, we are going to check the correct concept. Next is the interaction overflow diagram. So here we have a start, search items, system process, checkout and end. So which is used in an interaction online shopping system. So it focuses on user journey and it is going to represent the activity flow and the sequence logic. So next is the data modeling. So in the data modeling, we have the three different types like conceptual data model, logical data model, and the physical data model. The conceptual data model, it is a high level view, so only entities are represented here. Next is a logical data model. Here we have a detailed relationship, attributes include, and the physical data model, real relationship, tables and keys. So next is the behavioral modeling. So in the behavioral modeling, so we have a use case, a sequence diagram, communication diagram, interaction diagram, activity diagram, state chart diagram, and time sequence diagram. So the mainly it is used for analyzing the behavior, that is the functional behavior of a particular system. So sequence, it is based on time based interaction. So the activity diagram, we have a workflow. In the state chart, we have different state changes. Say for example, if you have a login system, so we can start by entering the credentials. So next, if it is valid, the login is success. So invalid means we have an error state. So this is a mind map. So in this mind map, this is a visual summary of the entire topic we have discussed. Thank you.